All right. Well, hey, Coaches Out for Change. It is Dee and Meg. We are here on Monday. It's the first Monday of the new month. So we always do a celebration of all our accomplishments for April. And then we're going to talk about some big stuff that's going on within Optavia and kind of taking the mystery of it out of it all for us and how to best move forward in the month of May to help as many people as we can. So, I want to show you. Give me a minute while I share screen. Some people are logging in. We'll show our video. Lots of good stuff. You're going to have to read fast because some of these slides have a lot of names on them. So give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, were you guys able to see everything on there? Was it a little, yeah, I'll post it in the group as well. Some of the big things is, I talked about this on the leadership call, is that we are growing as a team. We had a 3% overall growth in volume of, sales to our existing and new clients. We had 90 new clients in the organization. We had a few more people register or qualify for convention. And I don't know if you saw that last slide with the changes to the leads program. I would say we probably had 5 times as many people qualify for leads this month. So really, really good stuff. Anything else to share on that, Meg?
No, I just want to go and find out how many people qualified for leads and to share that. It's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll just share, I got a client lead for the first time in a long time. I don't know if you've heard this, but Optavia is pouring an exorbitant amount of money into marketing for us, which is incredible. And I'm so grateful. But you might see on Facebook, Instagram, I mean, I'm finding ads all over the place. But I got a new client lead last week, and it is a lead I am so excited about. She is on day 3 today. She is precious. Like, this is like the best lead I think I've ever had. And so just wanted to put a little plug out there that, I've never been excited about a lead before, but this one I'm just so excited about. And I feel like the quality of the leads that we are going to be getting are going to be so much better than the ones we've had in the past. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. And we usually do a coach spotlight next. We've got somebody in store that's going to share for us. She posted in our group yesterday, I think it was, right, Renee? But it was a beautiful post about some changes in her health journey that I think is going to enlighten us all. So, Renee, we're excited to have you share with us.
Hey, everybody. It is beautiful out here in the desert right now. Technical issues. Here we go. I wrote this down. So that it would be on time. About a month ago, I reached another desperation moment journey. The past year has been ridiculously stressful. I had lost 150 pounds on plan, and now...
Is your microphone, we're having a hard time hearing you, Renee.
We're working on it here.
Okay. Do you want us to come back to you? Yes?
How is this? Is this any better?
I think so. Can you say something again?
How are we doing here? Better?
That's much better.
Okay, great. Um, sorry, the technical issues are not my forte, obviously. Okay, let's try this again. All right. So about a month ago, I reached another one of those desperation moments that we all have in our health journey. The past year, as many of you have been aware, has been ridiculously stressful and full of change for me. I had lost 150 pounds on plan, and now in the last year, I've gained 45 back. And I said when I lost the 150 that that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, right. Well, life has happened in a really big way, and it was time to make another decision to get things back in control. So I filled out an interest form at LifeMD, and I got an email back to schedule a consultation. And so when we had the consultation, it was a Zoom. It lasted a little more than 30 minutes. And once we went over my medical history, my counselor was really, really helpful. And she also shared that she was using the plan as well. So it was really nice that I was talking with somebody who understood what this was going to be starting out. We decided that I'd start on Zepbound at 2.5 milligrams and follow up with her again about 2 or 3 weeks later. And then at that point, we would evaluate what the dosage is going to be for the next month. I was told that the meds would make me feel full longer, and we discussed the side effects. And yeah, there are some. So I think the most difficult part was really just psyching myself up to give myself the stupid shot. But it was easier than I thought. My first week was full of ups and downs, and I'll tell you that I did have some nausea as my body was getting adjusted to what was going on. But in the second week, I was noticing that the nausea was going away, and I was really feeling full all day long and had to really work to make sure I got everything in. And the other big thing is that I noticed I really was not focused or thinking about food. All that noise in my head was going away. So now I'm in my third week and I'm down 4 pounds. Now that's not a lot for 3 weeks, but when you've been at a stalemate, I'll take it. So what I've realized over this is that I need to front load my day with 3 fuelings and half of my water before 1 o'clock in the afternoon in order to be sure that I'm getting everything in. My protein levels are right where they need to be, but I end up having to cut back a little bit on my veggies because I just can't eat all of it. The only snack that I'm having is my Coke Zero, which is my cup of coffee. I'm back at water aerobics now that we've got temperatures that are starting in the mid to upper 60s in the morning. I'm feeling like things are more in control. And next month, my dosage is going to go up to 5 milligrams, and then we'll follow the same protocol and reevaluate again in another month. But I do have to say that for the longest time, I was one of those people that said, why should you have to use injections to get this done? Why can't you just get your brain in gear and make it happen? But as I know, every one of you know, when life really gets overwhelming, your heart is trying and your brain isn't cooperating. And I just knew I had to try something else. So it's not going to be a lose weight fast method, unless I get really surprised here next month. But it's definitely another tool that I have to help me once again forge after that goal.
Wow, Renee, thank you for your vulnerability, for your honesty. It's just so special to hear your story, and I want you to feel the love from all of us that we're all cheering you on. So thanks for sharing all that with us and really opening up, and kudos to you for posting it in Coaches Up for Change. That's exactly what we want to see. So if you've got something exciting happening, share it with us. We want to celebrate with you. So thanks for leading the way for us, Renee. We're cheering you on. Well, we have some other exciting news that we wanted to acknowledge tonight, and that is that the education module for the GLP-1 is now live. You probably got an email from Optavia. So, and if you want to be eligible for the leads that we talked about, you will want to make sure that you take the certification, that you pass. And there's some great information in there. I know Lucy has taken it. She said to reserve about an hour to go through the module and the exam. You will learn a lot as you go through it. It has some great information. So highly recommend go in to Optavia Connect and play around in there and check it out. Some other exciting news that we have going on is we've gotten some great information about the Client Support Plus bonus that we're going to share with you guys tonight. And we're really excited about it. So we've been hearing from all of us, we've been wondering what's going to happen with this Client Support Plus bonus. Is it going to stay around? And we have clarification on that. Yes, it is going to stay around and it's going to get even better. So one of the changes that we're making with the Client Support Plus is that instead of needing 3 new clients to get the 3% bonus, you only need 2 new clients, but those do need to be new clients, not just reactivated clients. And I don't know about you, but I know in my own business, whenever I have a reactivated client, they seem to not be, I mean, I love all clients, don't get me wrong, but they seem reactivated clients aren't quite as excited as those brand new clients, right? They don't want my coaching as much. It's just not the same. So for the growth that we want to create within Optavia, we know we've got to go after the new relationships, the new people, the new clients, the new coaches. Dee, I know you've got some things to share on that.
Yeah. Well, do we have the slide to go
Yeah.
over? Yeah, with it.
There we go.
So yeah, I love what they're doing, that they're always evolving on this. And this is fresh information, guys. We're sharing this. You'll be getting an email from corporate on it, and these changes are effective on June 1st. So this month, everything is status quo. Starting in June, it's for brand new clients only that are going to be qualifying orders. But check this out, you guys. They have lowered, in order to receive the 3% payout, the 3% bonus, it starts with 2 clients instead of 3. So before it was 3 or 4 clients got you the 3% payout. Now it's 2 to 4. 5 or 6 brand new clients is going to give you that 5% bonus. But then look at this. They've increased it and added a new bonus of 7% for anyone that brings in 7 or more new clients. And you might be thinking like, well, who the heck brings in 7 new clients? And we took a look at this month's or last month's, where I showed you who had earned the bonuses. We took a look at that. And if it was that data based on the new requirements, we would have had 14 people. We would have had more people earn the 3% because the 2 new clients counted. Excuse me, 14 people. 1 person would have earned the 5%. And we would have had just in our group 4 people who brought in 7 or more new clients that would have earned that 7% bonus. And 7% is substantial. I don't know many people in their day-to-day jobs that are getting, 3% bonuses or up to 7% bonuses just for doing what they do and helping more people. So great way to increase your income, increase your client base, help more people get healthy, and earn the bonus.
Absolutely. So remember to be eligible for those leads. You want to be an associate director or above, right? In the prior month, you want to bring on 1 new client, and then you want to take the GLP-1 training and you pass it 1 time. But those are the qualifications for being a part of the new leads program that's going on. So no, we're throwing a lot at you tonight. So we just wanted to make sure there weren't any questions. And if there are, pop them in the chat and we will be sure to answer them.
They're going to give us a 1-month grace period on the education module because it was just released. And and they've also indicated there'll be future ones down the road. But for the month of May, if you met those qualifications of the 2,000 in volume and had the brand new, or I'm sorry, qualifies as associate director and having a qualifying new client, you're going to get that lead even if you haven't completed the module yet. But then after this month going forward, that 3rd component of completing the module will be important. And you may have people like, I just had a client today who she was renewing her order and updating her order. She saw now the language, it's all over the Optavia website, etc. So the language, when she went to update her order, said, "Are you interested in medically supported weight loss?" So she clicked on it because she has been struggling, and she exceeded the age limit for it, but she was still interested. So she went to her own doctor, was able to access it, and is going to do the program with the medication. And in the new changes with the policies and procedures, which we're going to talk about, the coach agreement, it does indicate if you want to help people, even if it's not a lead, that you do need to be have completed that education module. And that's just so that from a best practices perspective, we are giving our clients the best advice possible from the coaching side of this.
Well, thanks, Dee. Another thing that we wanted to talk about tonight is the new policies and procedures that have shifted and changed. You might have gotten an email from Optavia that has a quick list of a couple of things to look at. There's information in there about the leads pool, information about the field-led training materials, things like that. We have always kind of operated, since I've been around anyways, as kind of like this smaller business, right? Like a mom and pop kind of where everybody knows each other. And it's like, oh, just do the right thing. We're all out here, just doing the right thing. Well, now that we are such a global brand, right? Multi-billion-dollar brand, we've got so many coaches, we've had explosive growth. We're now putting policies and procedures in place to protect you, to protect the brand, to protect our reputation that you have worked so hard to create. We all have, right? And so last week when we talked about it being a we, right? We want to see Optavia as a we, not the company and then us, but all of us together, because we want to work together to accomplish this great mission that is on our hearts. That's why we're here on a Monday night, right? So we just wanted to share that. Some of these things are, common sense things, right? Like don't share trade secrets, that sort of thing that you would see in any big company out there. But I'm really glad that they've laid everything out for us. Brene Brown says clear is kind, and they are certainly being clear. So Dee?
Yeah. Do we have that list, Meg? Do you have that? We'll pull it up and we're not going to go over each one of these. But as an independent coach, it is important that we are aware what's in the policies and procedures. And some of us who have started going through them, you start to look at other things besides just these changes, and we become aware of some things. So, you can read it online. I actually just sent mine to be printed at UPS because I like having a print copy of everything. So whatever it takes for you. But these are the primary areas that they wanted, where the changes are being made. And this says, for example, pertaining to, but some of them, there are, like if you are involved in another direct sales business or any other competing or non-competing business, there's definitely some guidelines around that and how you can share that business within Optavia, but also to the public using your social media. So you'll want to be real aware of that. Something we've talked about quite a bit as a team, but just a reminder for, and they've made real clear language on compensation plan manipulation. And what this means is potentially like placing orders for yourself, maybe for somebody who doesn't exist, placing it under a dog's name. I mean, this happens, right? Like they're ordering under their dog, or you're ordering under another family member, but it's what you're consuming, or pushing things through that aren't really legitimate orders in order to qualify for a bonus or a rank or something like that. Super, super important that we don't take advantage of that. That is something that they are watching. What else was it, Meg, regarding the compensation plan? I feel like there was something else we
I just
uncovered.
wanted to say, we talked about some of this on the ED call today, and I had somebody ask me, hey, was there anybody we were trying to talk to in particular? And so I just want you to know there is nobody. We are not out here trying to, make sure we're not looking at anybody or winking at anybody. So just wanted to go ahead and share that and let you know this is just information that the company is giving us, and we're trying to do our due diligence in sharing it. But one area that was interesting that seemed to have changed is that was around minors and the program. So now we cannot have client accounts for minors. If you're helping a client who is under the age of 18, they need to have their account in the name of their parent or legal guardian. And that is not something I knew before. So I think that's an important thing to just be aware of should you get some clients that are, doing the teen program.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a question, Debbie?
So I just have a question about so I understand that if it's a minor that the order needs to be under the adult's name. That makes sense to me, but what if the adult's also on plan?
I think that you would just order their
Like, how
stuff
does that-
under that parent, or maybe use the other parent if they're both parents reside in the household or whatever, maybe use the other parents, information for the account. But
Yeah, I was just thinking, how does that count as far as two ordering entities? But so for example, the people I'm thinking about right now, it was a mom and her daughter, and they were both on it, and the daughter was 17 years old. And actually later on, the dad was also on it, but at this one time it was the mom and the daughter. And so I'm thinking that if I put her under her mom, then it doesn't count as two ordering entities.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, and we want to make sure everybody's getting the benefits,
Mhm.
Of Premier Club and all of that. So what if you used a different email address
Yeah.
and even say, legal guardian's name, like mom's name dash, minor account or something, so that you can notate this is not the primary, you know what I'm saying? That's how I would think to do it. But again, a client support would be a good person to ask on that. But I see why you're wondering. That's a really good question.
Yeah, and to count it for your entities as well, right? As far as, let's say it was brand new, if you wanted them both to count. So definitely good questions. And I'm pretty sure that language, they actually were saying because of state guidelines, right? And I guess the way we're affiliated with the state. So we're trying, it's a way that they're trying to meet governmental, government regulations.
Right.
And as Meg said, with all of this, none of it's meant to scare or do anything. But we are, we do have responsibilities as coaches to make sure we're representing as intended. And the company itself is regulated by the Federal Trade Commission and things like that. So it's important that we as a company have all of this in writing and in place. So that's why I think we did have these most recent changes, and especially with the addition of all the marketing and advertising that we're doing. We're just getting a lot more exposure as a company. So if you have any questions regarding any of this, just shoot them up your upline, in terms of your business mentor. You can copy Meg and I. We want to talk about these things. We're not going to leave you totally on your own to figure it out. So if you've got a question, just know that we're here. Or if you're confused by something or, doesn't make sense, we will clarify the best we can for you.
And one of the things I love about Optavia is how, they are really wanting to do things the right way. I mean, Optavia's reputation, their integrity is really, really important to them. You see, or I don't know if you've seen it, but there are lawsuits that happen with other companies a lot, right? When you're just reading the newspaper, you might see some. What I love about Optavia is that is one of our top priorities, right? They want to protect the brand. They want to protect you. And so that's why all of these policies and procedures, they get revised, they get updated, and it's really just to protect us all, which in the end is a really good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you want to go to our unveiling of the mystery in May. We get so many questions about what do I do, right? What should I be doing? That's probably one of the major questions I get during a mentoring session. And the one thing we want you to know is the phrase, the work still works. And the work in Optavia is the best work is new connections and more conversations, right? It's all about the outreach and the conversations to determine people's needs, to then determine if, to build trust, I would say, with somebody, but also understand their needs to determine if our program is a good fit. And what we're just finding these days is that we do have to, social media is still a great tool, but getting out into the community, whether you're playing pickleball or you join a garden club or you're just walking more in your neighborhood, talking to people, accepting those invitations that you get, just allowing yourself the opportunity to get out and talk to people. And then one coach I was working with just this last week was, saying, you know what, I will comment on other people's posts, but what I really lagged on is actually sending private messages to somebody, just saying, hey, thanks for liking my picture. It's been a long time since we connected. How are you? Just those kinds of things to show that we're humans, we care about people, but just opening up that trying to the dialogue with other individuals. So more on that, Meg. Did you have anything more on that? You're muted.
No, I think that's a great reminder of just, continuing your mentorship calls. Like, I love that people are asking you, what do I do? Like, I think that's good to continue making that a priority, speaking to your coach, not just on your health, but on your business. One of the great things to do as we are talking about bringing in the new for our new clients, for the Client Support Plus bonus, for our future growth, that would be the second mystery we want to unveil is let's focus on the new, which means, hey, let's come up with a hundreds list. Let's bring it up with people. Sometimes I have people say when they find out what I do, they're like, oh, I need you. And sometimes I feel awkward about it, which I'm embarrassed to say, but I do. And so when that happens, I want to say, well, you know what? I think you look great, but I would love to talk to you about what I do and to see if it would be a good fit for you. So be ready for people to say, hey, I need you. Let's talk. Let's talk about it, So that's one of the things I want to be doing as we're out there meeting more people and bringing on the new.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, I had somebody in my women's small group at one point, and she would talk about weight, but it was always like in the group setting. And I always just felt awkward, like, hey, do you know what I do? But I don't know. I thought, well, she knows, like she'll come to me. And then at one point she just started asking me questions, and she was like, why didn't you ever come to me and just say, like, and I felt like, oh, like, how long have I been doing this? But I let that self-consciousness, that, oh, what's she going to think of me? This is our church group. I didn't want her to think I was, but in the end, it was a solution for her. So just think about that. And also for the coaching opportunity as well. There are people out there that could use additional income, that would like to do something with meaning and purpose. And they don't, not all of them, like I wasn't like necessarily a client before they made, were interested in learning about it. So also having your coach classes on for that. And then, so we're focusing on new, because new is going to be what builds, it's going to bring energy, it's going to bring what referrals, right? Like we know when a client is happy, they become our walking billboards. So we want to coach them really well. Having our weekly calls with them, pointing them to the tools. And I know that you guys do it, but just a reminder, even if you're leaving a voicemail for somebody or whatever, just making that outreach to them and coaching them well, because our existing clients really are, they're our best source of referrals. They're your best source of your ongoing volume every month. If we coach them well, they will stay. We've had plenty of evidence of that. And then another thing is to utilize the tools of the tips calls, the celebration and tips calls with your coach. I've had a few people bring people to me this week, and Linda and I just did one today. And I, mentioned to her, I said, hey, people are going to be noticing. And, if you want some extra accountability, you could always refer them to Linda, or we could talk about you coaching. And she was like, hey, if this is working for me and continues to work, that would definitely be something I wanted to talk about. So just having that third party validation, whether or not she becomes a coach, we're not sure, but at least we're presenting that opportunity out there.
I love that, Dee. And along those same lines, the Monday night community calls that are right after this call are really great. So tonight's call is Who Wins When Mom Wins. And Jamil Frazier and his wife are going to be speaking. I think they have some other friends coming on too. But we are pouring a lot of time and really trying to create really great calls that flow, and we're getting good feedback, but just wanted to put a little plug out there to send those to your clients, let them know that they are of value, encourage them to stay on for the after party, or, to live stream with us. I know I've been watching them more because we've been live streaming them.
Yeah, I have too. And what I have found to be really helpful is by me being aware of what's been on the call, because I'll be honest, for a while I was getting a little sloppy and not always on. But now that I am every week with you guys, it's made me more accountable, but it's also made me a better coach, because if somebody wasn't on it, I could send it to them and be like, hey, did you catch that call that, on Mother's Day or whatever the topic may be, and send them to the podcast or whatever, or, pop it out in an email or something to your clients. Because I think a lot of touches with our clients, sharing valuable resources and info is super, super important. All right. Anything to say, Meg, before we head on over to the watch party?
Nope. I just am grateful to be a part of this team, and just glad that everybody was here tonight.
Yeah. Appreciate every one of you guys. We'll start the watch party. You can text out your clients, ask them to join us. But it's going to be a good one. So one moment, please. Right there. Let me just refresh here.
Around the nation be with you tonight. I see people coming in all over the place, Amanda. Vegas is in the house, Virginia, Maui, Washington. They're all over, man. Well, we're so excited to be here tonight. We appreciate the opportunity, and we're going to get into some amazing content tonight. We got Mother's Day coming up here soon.
Yes, we do.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Jamil Frazier. This is my lovely wife,
Amanda.
and for all of you guys that are listening in on a podcast right now, we want to welcome you. And tonight's going to be an amazing night. We have some co-hosts that's going to be joining us, and we get to dive into the topic of everyone wins when mom wins. Dads, if you guys are out there, husbands, boyfriends, dads, if you're out there, would you agree that everyone wins when mom wins? They say, what is that phrase that they use?
Happy wife.
Happy. I think that that's true. And ladies, let us know, is your surroundings affected by how you feel and by how things are going with you? Just let us know in the chat. And so we're going to dive into that. We're going to give a lot of tips. We're going to give a lot of great content. You're going to hear a lot of antidotes. And my prayer is, by the time that you get off this call tonight, that you are giving such great value that you can start to implement into your programs and into your health journeys right away. Amanda, you just got back literally like
just walked in the
an
door.
hour ago. You just got back from a little mini vacation.
A little mommy getaway. So for Mother's Day, I got to go away for 3 nights. And it was great. I needed to recharge. When mom's running low on fuel, it affects everyone. I mean, I've been go. A lot of life has been happening for us since about early to mid-March. And right?
Yeah.
March. Gosh.
Yeah.
We're in May. Okay. I don't even know what day it is, honestly. So a lot of life has been happening. I've been burning fumes at this point. And so when he was gone on the cruise, I said, I need time. I need to get away. And he goes, go. So I just walked in the door, literally.
Yeah. So hold that thought, because we want to get into it, and I would love for you to give the audience tips on not only how you planned your trip, why it was necessary, the rejuvenation that hopefully you got. We haven't even had a chance to talk about it. She just literally walked in the door, but give them tips on why that's important and how they can start to structure that into their calendars.
Absolutely.
Because this is something that we do, or at least we intend to do, and things like this, quarterly sort of outings, date nights.
We try to be very intentional.
Fridays.
Yep.
So that mom can be good for everybody. So you guys buckle up. It is going to be a great night. I see a whole bunch of people coming on. We got hundreds of you, and we're so elated to be with you tonight. We want to say what's up to everybody over there on the Facebook Live, and all of you guys that are listening in on the podcast. we want to welcome you into the call. So tonight's going to be amazing. For all of you guys that's listening to the podcast, we are sharing our screen right now, and we get to see that who wins when mom wins. And we're diving into that topic. Before we jump into it, we just want to make sure that we give what we call an impact disclaimer. And I also want to just give a family disclaimer for my own house. So if you hear kids screaming in the background, that's just how we roll around here. And you might see not one, not two, not three, but 4 kids just all come in here all at the same time. But in Optavia, we want to give an impact disclaimer that basically the testimonials that you may hear from clients and coaches tonight, they really come with something that's called hard work and dedication. And so you may hear some income claims. I doubt tonight, but if you do, just know that those average earnings are not necessarily appropriate across all coaches, but you really do have to put in the work. Like I said, my name is Jamil. This is Amanda. We are independent certified Optavia coaches. We have been coaching for 12 years. We'll get into that in a second. And tonight we are going to introduce you to Alex Corona, who's also an independent certified Optavia coach. We'll bring her on in a second. And then you'll hear from Tiani Lawrence, who's also an independent coach. But Amanda, talk to him a little bit, because we started our journey about 12 years ago,
Yes.
just as clients. Why did we do that? Why did we go on that journey? And what are some of the things that you've seen that's happened with us and our family from us getting healthy?
Well, we started on the journey of health personally. I had just had our first, who's now 13, but I had just had our first, and I didn't know who I was anymore. And that was scary. That was really scary. But also for us, we also were losing ourselves and then each other, and what our relationship was rocky and all of that. And so for us, getting healthier was a big component of bringing us back together. It was kind of it was a common goal that we had that we kind of lost throughout a few years, especially during like the early years of our marriage, and then when we had our first child and the first few years of his life. And so it was a kind of a scary thing for us. But then being healthy, being active was a big part of our life before all of that. Yeah. And so getting back to that was really a big thing for us, and a huge component to who we are today and how we've amended our relationship and how we become who we are today.
Yeah. And so tonight we'll dive into some concepts and some ideas, some philosophies from elements 5, 6, and 7. Yes. And we'll kind of outline how some of these philosophies has really helped shape us as not only husband and wife, right, but as parents and as human beings and as citizens, how we've taken
and now leaders in our community.
And leaders in our community. So we'll dive into that in a second. But first, before we do that, I really want to go out to one of our first presenters, our first speakers. Her name's Alex Corona. One of the reasons why I asked Alex to come on tonight is because Alex is going to tell you about her journey, but she's been able to take her health journey to a whole new level that we call optimization and moving into ultra health. And we have 4 kids. Alex will let you know that she has more than that. And I think that it's going to be really fun to hear her story and how as she's gotten better, how that's impacted people around her. So Alex Corona, are you there in the house? Can you come on and share with us tonight?
Hi, Jamil. Thank you. Yes. Hi, everyone. I do have more kids than Amanda and Jamil. We actually have 5 kids, you guys, and it's a lot to handle with the sports and school and this and that, right? So when I came to Optavia in 2020, I was actually working 2 jobs. I had a night job, which I would put the kids to bed and work from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., come home, wake up all the kids, make breakfast, pack lunches, drop them off, come home to sleep for maybe 3 to 4 hours, and then work my second job. I was tired. I was not sleeping. I was surviving on Monsters, coffee, and spicy chicken sandwiches from Jack in the Box. That was my diet. I don't know how I made it so long like that, but I was done. I remember one day just feeling like I could not go one more day living that way. I had mom guilt because on the days that I felt really, really bad, I would take it out on my kids. And it sucks, you know? We are the ones that set the tone in the house. If you're a mom, you know. We set everything in our household. I did reach out to Jamil. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months, and very, very early on in my health journey, I noticed that a lot of the unhealthy habits I had were things that I would do to decompress from all the work, like hanging out and drinking, eating out, drinking, eating out, and it was a pattern, right? And it's like we had such a long week and I just want to relax, but really I was sleep deprived and severely dehydrated. So when I started to do program and start my journey, I knew like this was it. Like it was a lifestyle. I knew I wanted to do it and never go back to my old habits. So I talked to my kids about it really early on. As soon as I jumped on program, all my kids knew this is what mommy's doing. This is, I need everyone to be on the same page. And I started to notice, of course, the kids stealing, our fuelings here and there. But in element 7, it does talk about like your cabinet, your pantry, and what you bring into your house. And I did this very early on. I sat down, we had a family meeting, and I let the kids know we're not buying chips, we're not buying cookies, juices, chocolates, all the things not coming in the house anymore. This is going to be a family, we're all getting healthy together. Leading by example is so important. Not only was I doing it, but I was having my kids join in with me. It's been 4 years now that I've not only kept my weight off, like Jamil said, I did take my health to the next level. I get up at 3:50 in the morning to go work out for 2 hours, and I come home before my kids wake up to wake them up, get them ready. 4 out of 5 of my kids actually also go to the gym. One of them runs her mile here and there. We bought a pink treadmill for our garage, and she doesn't love it yet, but it's a habit. These are all habits that are not just benefiting me, but my entire family, everybody around us, their friends, because they're now encouraging their friends to go to the gym with them. And it's been such an incredible journey to be able to bring the kids in, and they know, it's a lifestyle. And I hope that this has inspired you guys to maybe do it a family affair with, your family, your kids, and everybody around you.
Oh my gosh, Alex is the best. Alex, I have a
Thank you,
question.
Valerie.
Can you come on really fast again? I have a question. So, Alex, you said you wake up, you get up at 3 3
3.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why do you do that? That sounds crazy.
I know, but I felt okay. So before, I don't know if you guys do this, but I would stay up after the kids go to bed to watch Netflix because it's like, oh my gosh, quiet time. The kids are not screaming. I can finally decompress and I can like watch TV, right? And then I started to think, okay, but if I go to bed when they go to bed and I get up before they get up, I can work out. And that's probably healthier than watching TV. So I just switched one habit for another,
Right. Did it take you a while to move into that, to get used to that? And is that something that you like to do, or you just learn how to build a discipline to do that?
I hate it. Every single time my alarm goes off, oh, I'm like, why? Here we go again. I don't like it. It took me, so I lost weight in 2020. In 2021, I became part of the 5 a.m. Crew. So for 3 years to like really now it's like automatic. I wake up before my alarm goes off. I don't like it. It's something I don't like working out. I've never worked out. I've never played sports. I was just always the kid running them. I was the last one. And I wasn't like overweight. I just didn't like working out. But it's a habit. It's being disciplined. It's knowing like I like to look good. I like to feel good. I like, when I'm done feeling accomplished. It's people are barely waking up and I'm already done. I worked out, showered, did my hair and makeup.
Sure.
Feels
And I think what's important that you guys should know about Alex as well, and we talk about element 5, which is my favorite element in our life book, because maybe you write this down. Zip codes eat people, but so do households. And what does that mean is our surroundings, the people that we're around, the things that we do, the people that we allow to set the tone for us, the way we set the tone for other people is probably one of the most important things that I've found in my own journey to actually stay healthy. And what Alex has done is she's made a decision to change her habits, and literally hundreds of other people have done the same thing. So you started this early thing at this gym, and now how many people would you say will like wake up or are a part of that gym now?
Oh, I've brought, I don't know, maybe like 7 to 8 people that I personally knew, or like people from social media. And there's a lot, there's maybe like 15 more, but they couldn't hang. Like they came 1 or 2 times and they're like, man, it's so early. It takes time, I get it.
Yeah, but you put didn't you put something out to your the community that you live in? Didn't you put something out there that to invite people to come with you? And now
I
people in your community are going, right?
I did. So I had made a post, and I made some really good friends from this. I made a post in my community who wanted to work out at 5 in the morning. Like I didn't want to go alone. I needed accountability. There was like 4 to 5 people that came with, and it's great. Like to see their journey now. It's been almost 1 year. So next
Yeah.
month is my 1 year anniversary that I've been at that gym, and it's a bodybuilding gym. People compete, like they are going there to train for competitions. I am not doing that, but I like to be around them. They push me. I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I was like the fat girl in the gym, like, and I thought I already looked good. Like, I already lost weight. I was in my size 4, and then I go in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's other levels to this thing.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you guys give Alex a whole bunch of love in the chat. And if you're over on the podcast, I hope that this is bringing you value because her surroundings have completely changed, but she has made the decision to change them. I want to bring on actually a good friend of Alex's, Tiani Lawrence, who's also an independent certified Optavia coach. And Tiani has had an amazing transformation, but also like Alex, she's a mama, and we have seen her surroundings, the people around her, but her surroundings changes. She's changed too. Tiani, are you there tonight? Can you come on and talk to us and help us out? Tell us a little bit about your story.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, guys. So I'm Tiani, and I am so excited to come on here and share tonight, especially excited because this topic is really near and dear to my heart. So I want to start by asking you guys, has anyone ever felt like you were literally failing in every aspect of being a mom, no matter how hard you tried? Put a 5 in the chat if that's you. Like maybe you spent some time scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, and you caught yourself wondering like how everybody seemed to be a super mom, but you. Maybe you started to play that comparison game, or maybe you even spent some time in the victim triangle like I used to do, making statements like, well, if my kids only would, or if my husband would help out more, or if my job this, or if, my boss this, my friends would only, if I had more time, if I had more help, things would be different. I hope I'm not alone in saying this because that was me in 2020 before I started program. And if I'm being quite honest with you guys, that's still me sometimes today. But I feel like now, the good news is I've learned the tools that help me recover much faster and help me pull myself up above the line when I start to feel like situations are getting out of control. I feel like a lot of my growth is attributed to what I've learned in element 5. You said, Jamil, element 5 is your favorite element. Mine is 4, but I also really like 5, and I've learned a lot from it. So the truth is, nothing was going to change until I understood the importance of self-awareness, that the change has to start with me, that we as moms, we set the tone, and that putting your own oxygen mask on first is not selfish. It's not egotistical. It's actually an essential practice. So what I really had to do and what I've learned to make me a better mom is find things that brought me joy, identify things and people that I needed to step away from that were bringing me down, and being okay with the fact that I need to step away until I learned how to better deal with them. So I learned that our connections with people, places have such an effect on our mood, our productivity, our health, and just our overall sense of well-being. For me in my journey, it got pretty deep because I realized that not having the best relationship with my parents really did affect my own parenting. Not only that, being in a very, very toxic workplace. I actually remember a map call I did with Alex and Jamil on a Tuesday, you guys. And I had to step away and go to my car and try to like pull myself together and thug it out and talk to Jamil. And I had tears in my eyes and it was just all bad. My workplace was just extremely toxic. And the thing about it was so full of stress that it carried over into my household. And my kids were the ones that were most affected. I remember the days that my son would tell me, "Mommy, why are you so mad?" And it's not that I was mad. I was just drained. I was depleted. I was moody. And I was simply just not aware of my emotional behavior. So how did it all change for me? I learned this element, if you have your life book with you, page 136 has 4 questions. So anytime a bad situation presents itself, really ask yourself these questions. It helped me, what is happening here? What did I want to have happen? What is missing? And what's next? So for me, 2 of the most challenging situations that I had to learn how to deal with that I felt would make me a better mom were making the decision to leave that toxic workplace. I started coaching full time, so grateful for that. And 2, limiting who had access to me, whether it's friends and sad to say, but family too, limiting those people, that only spending time with the people that brought me joy, that brought me happiness, that brought me peace. Because as you all know, we are the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. So what I learned in all of this was the happier I became, the more of a better mommy I became, the happier mommy I became, the happier friend I became, just the happier me, the happier version of me. And so now these days, my kids are not asking me why I'm so mad, but they're asking, "Mommy, what's our next adventure?" So I'm super blessed and grateful for this program.
Oh my God. I was almost starting to cry over here. Great job, Tiani. I love that. And I love what you said, Tiani. I would say, actually, let me ask the moms and then I'll come back to you, Tiani. How many mamas or grandmothers or just women out there, you at one point in time felt really, really guilty about putting yourself first, right? Tiani said putting her oxygen mask on first and then putting it on others. I would say that's definitely true for you, right?
Yeah.
Tiani, how did you move past that? Like what did you do, or what was the mindset sort of game did you do, or did you just make a decision that I know if I don't take care of myself and I don't show up to my best version, then people around me aren't going to get it?
Yeah, Jamil, I'm really big on quotes. So one I have written on my mirrors and my whiteboard is, "If it's to be, it's up to me." Actually, the first time I heard it was from you. So really just making the decision after hearing that quote, if it's to be, it's up to me. I have to be able to take care of myself first in order to be that better version of a mommy, not only a mommy, but a wife. And so I made that decision.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on tonight, Tiani. You guys showed Tiani some love in the chat. If you guys are on the podcast, I hope that this is bringing you value, special Mother's Day edition. And so, Amanda, we turn to you, mama of 4. First of all, did you ever think you were going to have 4 kids?
No.
I don't know how it happened. We're so young.
Well, it's funny because when I was younger and I dreamt of having 4, I'm one of 4. So I thought, okay, I want 4. And then when we had 2, I was like, nope, good with 2. We're good. And then Cruzy came along and we're good with 3. Surprise, Joni came along. Okay, we're done.
Yeah. So what advice would you give for the mamas out there on the special edition Mother's Day for when they feel like their cups are being depleted? What advice or tips would you give them that has really served you?
Well, number 1, giving yourself grace. That's one that I am I had to learn, and I also have to constantly practice. So giving myself grace, recognizing, that's a big one, recognizing when my tank is low. Because a lot of times we say, "I'm fine, I'm good," but we're not. And so recognizing when we are not fine and when we are not good and we are starting to run on fumes. And so releasing that mom guilt, because like both of the ladies before me have said, it's you need to fill your cup before you fill others, right? So for me, like this weekend, I had been running on fumes since mid-March and really losing it. And so I had made the conscious decision a few weeks ago to really get back on track so now that we've moved, okay, now life has stabled out a little. and I can focus a little bit more on myself. And so it was like I really got back on my habits of, drinking 120 ounces of water in the day, and really focusing back on I like to do wall Pilates. And so doing my 15 minutes of wall Pilates, or, and going for the walk with my youngest, my 1.5-year-old, instead of just packing myself with all the things I need to be doing, washing the dishes, loading the dishwasher, getting dinner prepped, all this stuff that I have to do before the kids get home, but making sure that I take out that just 20 to 30 minutes and go for a walk with him first before I start all of that. So I really started focusing on the things that I can, just tiny things that I can tweak right away, right? So now this is leading up to now me not feeling guilty about going away for a few days, because of course, as I'm gone, I'm getting, Mom, when are you coming back? And if you feel guilty for a moment, or, I don't have this, I can't find that. And it just, it would just be easier if I was there. But honestly, like, I needed that time away. I absolutely needed, because it was getting to the point where I wasn't good for anyone. I was not good for myself, and I was not good for them.
And when your mood is off a little bit, that affects
absolutely,
the kids. It doesn't affect me, but it affects the kids a little bit. And I'm just saying, but it's true I think for both of us, for both mom and dad, right? We feel good, others feel
absolutely
good, which is really important.
It trickles down. And so for our children, I really, in terms of impact, right? So when I really focus on, okay, let's just take eating healthier. So, the grocery lists, all of that, like, I meal prep. So it's, we have a menu for the week. We even have a menu for the kids of what they're going to pack for their lunch for the next day. So me being organized for them and for myself sets us all up for success during the week. So we have a set menu of what they're taking for lunch and what we are having for dinner. Even on that menu, we even have like appropriate snacks that they can have, like when they get home from school and whatnot. So this is something that I set up for the week. Okay, so there's that. There's the lunches, the dinners, all of that. My mood, if my mood is off, and also being very intentional about how I'm speaking to them, how I'm motivating them in the morning to get out the door and get your shoes on after I told you 5 million times, all of that, right? And so a big one for us is practicing emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Personally, both of us, we both are big on that, but also with our children. And so really recognizing when we feel that we're about to dip below the line, and not only bringing ourselves above the line and communicating better, but also helping our children realize when they are there,
yes,
communicating to each other and communicating to us.
So what she's talking about, you can find in element 4, I believe 3 or 4, and that is the whole concept of above and below the line. And we have taken that concept. Thank you so much, Dr. A and Optavia. And we haven't just infused it into our health journey, but into our life journey, especially how we parent, how we communicate with one another, really being in tune with our emotions. So let's kind of show you guys, we got some cool stuff that's coming up. And if you get a chance, you mamas that are out there, then go in and get a weekend away like Amanda right now, so that you can be, or a few hours would be good too. So listen, Dr. A has done a great job of giving us what we call the conscious leadership forum. I just want to let you know that the next call is postponed, and it is going to be on May 14th. So please take a screenshot, or if you're listening to the podcast, just tune in with us May 14th, and Dr. A will come back and really dive into the topic, where does our happiness come from, which is a great segue from what we're talking about tonight. We have 3 dates and locations that's coming up for the Optimal Health Tour. We're calling it Momentum. I'm actually flying out to Utah, I think it's next week, to be with Dr. A and so many of you clients in our coaching family, to hear from really the guy who has revolutionized this health movement, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. So anytime I can be in a room with that guy, I am in a room with that. So I think that, the live stream is still available. Really check with your coaches, your leadership team to see if there's still openings for Saturday, May 18th in Sandy, Utah. But we have additional locations and days where you can plug in as well. But if you're in Utah and you see me, please come up and say hi. I would love to meet you. And so join us next week as we really dive into letting go of obligation. I was just talking about that today, and becoming a dominant force of your life. And don't forget, we do have these embedded into our podcast recordings that you can listen to as you're driving into work, maybe as you're in the shower, maybe you're hanging out, going for a walk or whatnot. So you can catch up on a whole bunch of past episodes. Next week, we will have Dave and Candace that's going to be leading us, and it's going to be fantastic. So really, on behalf of my beautiful wife, Alex Corona, who you met, Tiani Lawrence, and really to yourself, we want to thank you for really leaning into your own health journey. And we encourage you to share this with people that's around you so that we can help more people get healthy. Have an incredible night, and we will talk to you soon.
Good night.
Well, that was very awesome. What was something maybe that resonated with you that was shared tonight? Glad you guys stayed on for it.
Liked all the stories, and give yourself grace.
Yeah, so good.
I really liked where Amanda at the end was just practicals of what she does and how they are very intentional with their family, with their children, I should say, and not even just in terms of what goes into their bodies, but their mind, and being emotional aware. That really stuck out to me, especially being a grandma and when I have my little one here, to be intentional about having him be aware of his emotions and teaching him how to be able to communicate better and not go below the line. And for me, it's just really good testimony to this program that is so much more than about our physical weight. Is so much more, and it impacts not just us but our families as well.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? That really stuck out to me, how intentional they are. And it kind of tied into there was that one quote at the end, like, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And right, like, we are the role models for the people in our communities, in our houses, our children, our grandchildren. And yeah, I mean, I was totally unaware of the emotional side of it, like the second person who shared, not even realizing the toxicity I was, bringing home myself because of the environment I was in. So good. Anybody else have anything to share?
I
All
love,
right. Well, it was a good, oh, go ahead, Elizabeth.
I was just going to say, I love how after Jamil shared that Amanda got to have a weekend away, that Amanda quickly followed that up, that for moms who couldn't do that, even 15 minutes a day could make a difference. And I thought that was so relatable, because like sometimes I feel like, for me, being a young mom with 3 kids, like it's like, oh, well, I can't imagine how much planning it would take for me to be able to go away for a full weekend. But I can give myself 15 minutes of intention every day to better myself, so it will trickle down into my family.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's multiple reasons why we might not be able to, actually physically remove ourselves, right, from it. But like the first woman shared, she used to stay up late, to watch TV and chill. And then she realized, like, wow, I could actually switch that, have time to myself, exercise, and still get that time away from others, or get up earlier, and again, that's stuff that people would randomly be like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. But when you start to see the effects of it, it can really make a difference. All right. Well, if you are a mother, happy Mother's Day this coming weekend. I thought this was a great topic and just a great reminder for all of us to put that oxygen mask on yourself first. So, all right. We will see you guys next week. Bye.